So, hello everyone, welcome back. And firstly, let me tell a bit of, kind of, what can I say, a motivation. Of course, motivation is, just action of dance, but not in that sense. But uh, I, so basically, I now understand that how are you feeling, especially after going through all these series, after dealing with this concept of immersion, and also after knowing that how everything is just conditioning of dance and how it's ego. Finally, we reached up to the end of right action, which we would of course continue today. However, few people they were telling me, and of course it's really really normal, and you might be actionless. Let me just use a different color, right? You might be actionless, you might be confused, you might be desperate, you might be hopeless. That if everything is just dense and I have to immerse, then first of all, why do I find it so tough to immerse? And like, why am I responsible for all my suffering? Previously, I used to give blames to other people, but now I have been exposed that it's me who is causing this suffering, and for that reason, I'm just suffering. I'm suffering for my own cause. As I've been exposed to the true nature of your life, as you have been to the true nature of your life. It now appears to be fake. You are anxious, of course. Now you are just thinking that just tell me the solution then, because at the end, each and everything I want, or each and everything I do, all my desires, all my needs, all my you know this I'm wearing clothes. Why I'm wearing clothes? So that I can present to you now. uh, I can just open the clothes. I can't just sit in you know naked, right? Why? Because there are restrictions in the society. But again, that is what I'm doing. I am a subject to society. So what I am trying to do is trying to live by the society, right? So I know it's now completely appears to you that it's all fake. Like, what's the point? Like, you are just, what can I say, desperate, confused. That, okay, now I know, but still I'm not being able to do the right thing. Still I'm not able to end my suffering. So, today, currently, is the occasion of Holi, this date. So, let me fill you with love, not because of Holi itself, but by the knowledge. Love, in the sense that I want to fix you from the core. I want to destroy all your actionless, confused, desperate. Why? Because these are again the product of dance, right? So, with that being said, let us start with today's topic: the right action, the actual right action. What is it? But of course, uh, I would like to fill you with love, and hopefully, you will enjoy this session. So, let's just begin. Right action, very subjective with okay. So first to the whenever we talk about action, first thing which we would like to discuss first is that we know that following the action of our dance is just useless. However, what if we don't act at all? What if we, okay, we are not doing right action, we are not doing wrong action. What if we choose not to act? Inaction, like, mm, what if I just don't act? So this query might have come to people's mind that why then why don't I just stop acting? Like, anything I'm doing, why don't I just stop? Of course, I know it sounds very logical to you, and of course very, what can I say, a bit absurd and logical at the same time. More like a irony, because of course, nothing is in action, right? Currently I'm speaking, I'm acting. If you are just sitting also, then also you are sitting or thinking, whatever, each and everything you do, you are doing something. Each and every you are just doing, you just cannot choose inaction, right? Let's take an example, that let's say a stone, let's say a heavy stone is lying beside a riverbed, right? So of course, that stone did not lie there from the entirety of its time. Maybe it came down from a mountain, or maybe it came along with the flow of the river, or maybe it originated from there or moved somewhere, or maybe it will move in the future, right? So of course, I hope you are that sedimentation and all those things happen. So inaction is just not possible until and unless you kill yourself. So the when you mix with the nature, then of course you can't act, and then is the state of inaction. So inaction physically, and we know we should not choose to die consciously, right? Because of course, again, the very first video of all to live or not. So whether we choose, like, we don't have this option in our life. It's even mentioned in Gita. Like if you read the Bhagavad Gita, even Lord Krishna, he tells that inaction is not just possible. It's really, really uh, inaction in the physical world is impossible, because each and everything you are doing, maybe you think that you are not acting by just sitting, then also you are just doing something, you are sitting, you are thinking. So we don't have this option to not act, because even if we choose the option to not act, then also we are choosing to not act on a particular thing. Like that's again an action, right? So I hope you get my point. So this choice, until and unless we are dead, we are not dead, this choice is just not available to us. So hence that is really a very useless thing to talk about. What if we don't act at all, right? However, then wrong action, okay, wrong action I cannot do, and inaction also it's not physically possible. Like it's not just possible. So what's the thing left? Right action, right? So now right action is with respect to whom? Like, of course, right is where for let's say for you, maybe for some people, mean some families, the people grow up in a conservative environment. Conservative in the sense that the girls are much like suppressed, not so free. So they are told that okay, wear full churidars and all, wear covered saris and. Don't wear shorts and all this kind of things. They are told in this some many families that they are told that girls should remain covered, right? So for that family, that thing is the right thing. However, let's say some person is in metropolitan city, like some actress, some house of actor or celebrity. Then of course that person would be not will not be conditioned to wear saris and all. He or she can just wear uh, just normal casual clothing, shorts, according to their wish, right? So for them that is the right thing. So again, the terrorist example. So the terrorist, if you know that, do you know how a terrorist train? So the terrorists are trained by they have a, like, I heard it somewhere. I'm not sure to what extent it is true that there's a chicken farmhouse. Maybe some chickens are there. So to kill their guilt, or to kill their sense of morality in them, they are asked to forcefully step on the chickens and kill them. So for them, killing becomes slowly the right action, because of course they are brainwashed. Why? Brainwashed in the sense that they are told about that religion, how they would be honored by the government and all those stuff, bribery and all those. So of course, let's say I am here, or let's say some other common person is here. If they see them doing this, then of course according to them that would be wrong, but for this person, this particular terrorist or thief, that would be the right action. So of course right action is very subjective, and hence when we say that we are have to do right action, then we have to see with respect to whom are we talking, with respect to what we are comparing the thing of right and wrong. So I mentioned it here. So let's just give a reading through it. If I follow the restlessness default actions, like searching for water to fulfill your dens, it does not decrease. So yeah. So ultimately, what we talked about, that the main cause of our suffering is our constant restlessness. So hence, to end our suffering, to so-called liberate ourselves from the suffering, the thing we have to get over it is our restlessness, right? So until and unless we just decrease this restlessness, we cannot get the peace, because maybe our tense or our ego would be fulfilled by the water, like because of the programming. However, our actual core, the core existence of us will not be satisfied, because they don't this following the action of dance, they don't decrease the level of restlessness, rather they just increases the desire and suffering. Our aim was to decrease our restlessness, and hence to follow anything of dense is just useless in this case. So our main aim, like that what we wanted it to do, that to end our suffering, or to live a better life in the sense not in the crazy money, and not a conditioned life, a life coming from the core itself, because our core is the restlessness, and the restlessness has to do something. Hence what it chooses to do, and which is of course more available, is, it goes in the search of dance or water, which it thinks will give it pleasure, but actually of course, as we know by now, that it's just, what can I say, a loop of ignorance or falsehood that is placed upon you. So whenever we are doing the action of dance, then actually there is no use towards the same. Like let's say currently, let's say someone wants to clean a street, right? So someone wants to clean a street. So currently, what he does is he starts eating junk food. So, or let's say he is just eating food. So, two things can happen. Either he is eating food to get energy to clean the street, or rather he is just eating food. So, if he is just eating food, if he is just consuming the food item, then of course that would be termed wrong action. Why? Sorry, it would be turned useless, because of course this food is will not help him in, cleaning a street. So it can be similar like a broom, to clean a street, right? Again, you clean a room or a street. So of course, when you have a broom, then if you just sit and just polish the broom, of course it won't help, because you have to clean the what? You have to clean what? You have to clean the room. And if you just keep on polishing the broom, you are cleaning the broom, not the street or not the room. That's why, hence, it's useless. So, polishing the broom just for decoration is useless, right? In our cause, the same loop of emotions and water runs. Hence, I am certain that I will not do anything that the I will not do. So, actually, I missed here. So, I hope you are not just reading only through it. So, I hope you are watching this video. So, really, really sorry for if you read it wrong. So, hence, I'm certain that I will not do anything that the ego dens tell me to do. Why will I not do? Again, because my main cause was to decrease my restlessness, my suffering, which of course is not happening because I'm following the action of dens. And dens, I know they only work for the fulfillment of them themselves. Why? Because they're programmed. My actual core is not satisfied. Hence, if we do these useless actions, then turn we then term it as wrong action. This I'm terming as wrong action. Wrong, not in the sense that it's morally wrong, or it's wrong with respect to something. It's just that it does not help with our restlessness, right? So that's why it's called the wrong action. It's just useless in this purpose. It's the action is not inherently good or bad. I have written it here. I will just go through it. I've written it in a lot of detail, as you can see. So of course I will explain. So no worries. Hmm. So, hence, our actions that are done because of either trying to get water or secure it is from now on useless and wrong. Of course, useless and wrong. Why? Because useless, I hope you understand, and that's why it's wrong. As it is useless, it's wrong. So, what we used to do is to secure the water, to try to get it from somewhere. So now we have just realized that, of course, it's useless to get the water or trying to secure it, because, again, hypothesis one, hypothesis two, we just discussed this in much more detail. But hence, of course, it is not serving our purpose. Hence, we are terming it as wrong. Note. This is an important note I have written down. The actions are not wrong or right fundamentally. It is just they are not useful to us in our purpose. Right. So as I mentioned, that something. Let's say if I have this keyboard right here. If I break it now, like I have no reason to break it. Like if I just break it now, then why am I breaking it? Because maybe I am very angry, right? I am very frustrated, so I just break it. So why am I breaking? Because I'm angry. This breaking is not inherently good or bad. Now let's say I have to break it because I need to show something to you. Then of course, if I break it and I sacrifice myself, my thing to show this to you, show something to you, then according to you that would be the right action. That okay, he is very uh, what can I say, not selfish, he is very kind, he's very sharing, you can kind of say like that, which you think is right from your purpose. But however, let's say my father has brought this with much money and I just get angry and I just broke it. So with for him this would be wrong action. Why would it be wrong action? Because he thinks that I have wasted his money, right? So the actions, however, I'm talking about is not right or wrong fundamentally. It's how we attach the meanings to them, right? So if I just break it, as I mentioned, two cases can happen. So it can be wrong either to someone or right to someone else. So hence, it's not the action inherently that is wrong or right, but how we attach the meanings to them. And here we are uh, labeling all these actions like, junk food, sexual pleasures, and all these, uh, and looks. These all dens basically. So we are turning the action or the calling of the dens as useless or as wrong because they are not useful to us, because we have seen that the more we try to choose the dens, the more are we away from our peace which we are actually looking for. Hence, it's just that it's not useful. It's just, what can I say, garbage for this purpose, right? So now currently I'm explaining this and I don't need to show anything. Now if I just break it, then it's of course just a garbage. So why should I just break it? So I hope this keyboard example is clear to you. So hence why we are terming these actions are wrong. So why am I emphasizing more? It's required to emphasize more because you need to first understand why it is wrong. If someone tells and comes to having sex is wrong, or eating junk food is wrong, you have to first understand why it is wrong, not in the sense that yeah, it's morally not good, it's bad for the body, but it's actually not serving our purpose. Our purpose was to calm ourselves, or rather reduce the desperation, the restlessness within us. So of course these actions are not useful in that purpose, hence we term them as wrong action. So now that you know that these actions are wrong, will you stop doing this? Of course no. Right? Now you know that okay, this is wrong because there is no purpose. But now if I bring some, let's say some sexual stimuli or food or clothes, or let's say your girlfriend or your parents, or let's say any sports, your friends, whoever, your teacher, or some dense like PTSD, some experiences I bring or I show you, then will you not get attracted? Attracted in the sense affected, right? So attracted means not like sense of attraction, but will you not get affected by it? Of course you will. If I just show flash, some fancy image of a girl, with short clothes, which of course will what can I say, activate your sexual uh, so then of course you will get affected by it, and you will you now of course you just can't stop it, because that's just dent. The dent has to as I hope you remember that the dent has to produce hormones and affect our body, and also body, and also it has to affect our thoughts, right? So now you know that although these actions are just, even this dent action is coming, if I take any action in this sexual pleasure, or let's say I give myself pleasure doing sexual stuff, then also I would not be actual peace with myself, because I've done this many times in the past and I've also experienced it, and I'm hence concluding that it's not just possible to get the actual peace I'm looking for from this action. You know that this is wrong, or at least if you have not realized, then at least you are aware of it that it is wrong, but still you will get affected by it. Why? We'll come to that, right? So you have to do action, so instead of wrong action something else must be done, right? So why something else? Why right action should be done? Because we know that wrong action should not be done. So wrong action should not be done because it's not serving our purpose. Hence, now if I bring something which would what can I say, stimulate you for wrong action, you will choose it. You now, let's say from this moment onwards, I will tell you that you are not affected by your parents, you are not affected by your society or anything. So answer me honestly, would you be like, okay, fine, or of course no, I dare you, like if you, let's say you are sitting in a room, then will you just take off your clothes and show that, okay, this is my body? No, your restriction is there, right? I hope you understand. Restriction is that you are still clinging on. You are still getting affected by this. Yes, of course. I don't mean that you should just open it. No, no, no. Of course, since I'll explain this in more detail. But of course, you, let's say someone tells you that you don't look good. Let's say your best friend, he or she tells you that you don't look good. You are, not doing good or something like that. Then of course you will be bit affected. Maybe the intensity might vary from person to person, but of course you will get affected. So you have to do action, right? Because as I mentioned, inaction is just not possible. So instead of the wrong action, something else must be done. And why does this happen? Because the restlessness still lives, of course. Now even you know all this, but the restlessness is still active. Like, the restlessness has to finish itself, right? Then only we can say that, okay, we are in the perfect. If the restlessness level is zero, right, zero, then only we can say that, yeah, we are completely satisfied, we don't need anything else, not even breathe, not even life itself we don't need. We don't need the we don't need to live also, right? So that's the thing. So the problem is restlessness still lives, and the belief is still attached to the worldly dance. Like, you still believe that your this, if you score, if you let's say clear this exam, or if you get this much good marks, or if you get that much money or that much popular, then you would be, happy. So the belief is still attached to the worldly dance, and the restlessness also thrives. Thrives in the sense it is not finished. You have just become aware about it, that okay, it is present, and only by aware, like let's say you have let's say dizzy, and you are aware. Previously, you were not aware that the disease was present in you. However, now you have went to doctor, you have done some checks, and found out that okay, this germ or disease is in me. So now, of course, only knowing won't help. You need to take medicines also. So that's the thing here, that you know about the restlessness, the disease, but the germ, but the germ, of course, it will not die inherently. You have to do something externally, right? So the restlessness still lives, and the beliefs are also attached to the worldly dance. So, what can be the solution to each of these? So, restlessness, the solution is really simple. We talked about the immersion, the whole video of immersion, we talked about it. So, of course, if you are doing something, very immersive and, very engaging, like currently I'm speaking in this video, then restlessness level decreases. Of course, not zero. Slowly, it would, of course, take time, as I mentioned. But the solution for it is immersing, right? And how do we believe, how do we break the belief attached to the worldly dance? How do we fix this problem? Is that by knowing the truth, knowledge of the truth. So basically what you are doing right now. So right now, as you are doing this, currently, let's say you are watching this video immersively, engagingly, not in a sense of ego, then you would realize that you are doing the right action. RA. Currently, if you are doing this, immersively, then you are doing the right action. Why? Because you are knowing about the truth. You are knowing about the yourself in general, and basically knowledge you are gaining, and you are also immersed as well. Hence, now this is the state of right action. So, some counter argument might arise that why is the knowledge? Of course, now you realize that only immersing would not help, because if immersion was the only choice, then of course you would be immersed from the very moment you went into that, let's say, that particular tent, and you went into the ocean. But now, as you know, that, let's just say your parent calls you, right? So you have to go. Why you have to go? Because restrictions again. You believe that, okay, fine, something, I will get some kind of water, right? It might not be, physically sensible, but of course, if you observe yourself closely enough, there is a kind of, what can I say, conditioned, what can I say, condition, relationship, whatever. So uh, we need to, I've written it down in detail that why only knowledge won't work and why only immersion won't work, right? So let's just give a reading to it. Okay. So only knowledge will not help. Just see yourself now. Your current example. Even after knowing about dense ego restlessness, you're still attached to them. Right. So currently, you let's say before this video, or let's say after this video, after some time, you now know that okay, these are wrong action. These are all the actions of the ego, and these are all the restrictions have been imposed upon me, and hence they don't bring me any pleasure. Hence, I should not follow them. You now know, right? But however, you are still attached to them. You are still attached in those dens. You are still following your ego. You are still that constant restlessness. You know, if not realized, that I am not the den. However, you still identify with it. Yeah. So now, if I ask you, who are you? Then, of course, now maybe you are aware that okay, I am a restlessness. But what physically comes to your mind, what you believe that okay, I am this person's girlfriend or boyfriend. I am this person's wife or husband. I am this person's child. I am this teacher's student, and all these things. I am a human being. All these kind of things, right? I am a mammal. I am a physicist. I am a, let's say, uh, anything. Your profession, your so-called identity, what you identify with the dens, right? So now you know that you are not the dens. As I mentioned, you are something else. You are two. You are not only the dense and you are restlessness and the ocean, right? So uh, you know, if not realized, so might happen that okay, you are not fully realized, because if you were fully realized, then of course you would not be doing these things. However, now you know that you are not the dent, but still you identify with it, right? Now if I tell you that are you not claiming to be that person's son? Okay, might be, but aren't you still looking for that water? Aren't you still believing that okay, that might help me, right? So okay. So you will try to know everything, and even then you won't act because your restlessness will be insecure. And what if it chooses the wrong action? Yeah, again the ego will give very rigorous arguments. Like, see, I've written here that now when you will try to, you will first try to look through all my videos, all my self knowledge videos. Like, let's say you were in the first video, and now let's say you are currently in this video. Either you have watched it immersively or you have just binge watched it, right? So let's say that after watching this video, you have planned to watch 10 or 5 videos more of mine, because you want to know everything to the last detail so that you can finally start working on your life instead of working now. So why is that? Because your restlessness is insecure and the ego manipulates it and tells it, okay, what if I do the wrong action again? What if I am again stuck in the same loop? Firstly, let me know everything. It happens in like in studies also. First to collect all the materials. Like, let me collect the best materials, the best teachers, the best pen, the copies, and then I would start. Like, what if I miss something? That is again insecurity or the ego's game, you can say, and the fear that okay, I might do the wrong action again. Just see what is happening. Previously you didn't know, and you just did the action blindly, or like whatever you were doing, that your dense action, and following those ego. Now you know, but you still do, right? So the irony is, previously you did not know and you were doing this dizzy example. As I mentioned previously, you did not know what the dizzy was there. Now you know, but the dizzy is still there. What is the use? Tell me. You are still doing that shame bullshit thing every day, right? And now you know that okay, this is wrong. Even, what can I say, even worse, of course not worse, at least you know it's wrong, right? So the treatment would be much easier. Of course it will be tough, but easier in the sense that if you don't understand that, if you don't have any knowledge, then of course you would not understand that how to act, right? So that's the thing. Previously you know, but now previously you didn't know, but now you know, but still you choose to do. So that's why only knowledge will not work. Only immersion. So people will say, sir, what if I choose only immersion? If I play only, let's say, cricket, or if I play any sports, only if I do it, then what's the problem? If you just choose immersive activities like sports, music, passion, drawing, studying, for some it might be making movies. I have a few friends who like making documentaries and movies and all those kinds of stuff. Then also it won't work. Why it won't work? Because whenever an external stimuli comes, you will be pulled out of the state of immersion quite vigorously, because the pool of the dens are very higher or very large. And now as you don't have any knowledge that okay, this is the action of the dens at the ego, now you don't know. So you will not be able to distinguish between the state of restlessness and immersion earlier. Of course, when you will actually distinguishing, then of course you would be much away. Let's say you just came out of here, this is the ocean, you just came out of here. Now of course, currently you don't realize, but by the time you were realizing, you were up to here. So of course it's much more difficult, right? So you will choose to be in the state of restlessness, and choosing immersion is not possible. So, in only immersion case, if you just think that okay, I will only immerse. Let's say as I thought that okay, I would only make this video and I would only study. I would do nothing else. Then let's say my hunger arises, or maybe my parents call me, and let's say someone comes at my door, knocks on it. Then of course I have to get up because I have restrictions. I have dens upon me that okay, I need to answer to my parents. I need to listen to them, or maybe my friends are coming. I need to greet them and all those kind of stuff. So. Of course, if you are in that state of immersion, you would still be pulled out because the dent is, of course, much more larger, and you know the ego is the expert manipulator, and hence it would pull out. It would pull you out from the state of immersion, and of course, as you are not intelligent enough to recognize that this is all just the action of dance and the fake scenario created by your ego, then you would be just gone far away from the state of immersion to the state of restlessness. Even I had this. Like I was, class 9 and 10th, I was very much immersed, and I used to study for very long hours, and of course, course and this all. I was of course studying for them. I was again studying for dance, but while studying for dance, I was immersed. So why did that happen? So I was immersed. So hence, what can I say? I was aware that yeah, fine. I was much happier than that. I was not suffering a lot. However, whenever an external stimuli used to come, let's say some marks, it might be marks as well, like marks, or let's say some parents call me, someone used to let's say criticize me for my marks. Then also I would feel hurt. Why? Why would I feel hurt? Because again, I'm just pulled by the action of this dance. I don't have enough knowledge enough. I don't have enough, what can I say, intellect enough to understand that this is not me. This is something external. Sorry, this mind is it's just ego. It's just playing games. My true purpose is this, the true solution. So of course I don't know this. I didn't know this. So of course I had to come out and of course go through all the stages of grief and all those. My story we will talk maybe a little later. Maybe currently it's not relevant. So that's the thing. If you choose to be only immersion, after some time the immersion would all your pool would finish. Why would it finish? Because some other external stimuli would come and target you, right? So, however, for some people only immersion might work. Perhaps maybe some blind love or a sense of strong duty, right? So let's say there's a my senior, my like, lot senior. I actually used to take some advice from him. Like he has a channel. He very motivates students to get into IIT. So basically, he's from a slum area, and he, they are very poor family, of course, and the condition is not very good in his home. So to him there is a sense of strong duty that okay, I need to what do you say that in Hindi, माँ बाप का नाम रोशन करेंगे, right? I need to, what can I say, make my mom and dad proud of me, that kind of thing. So that kind of sense of duty, or maybe this let's say this religion, this they also do it, like you pray to god and you do your work in Gita also, this karma, and of course it's very much misunderstood. We'll talk about Gita also, that's in our plans. But it's strong, strong duty that if let's say you are a soldier, and you are told that you have to stay active at night to prevent any enemy soldier from coming in. Of course, you would not. You would try your best not to slack off, and then you would be fully immersed into your duty. Of course, again, if external stimuli comes, then you would be affected. But if the sense of duty is strong enough, let's say this is the dent, and this is the, what can I say, chain of duty. So if there comes, then might be that this chain of duty will prevail, and you would stay immersed. However, this and blind love, in the sense, how can blind love happen? That you are blindly in love with it. Like few people, they are just truly into the particular thing. Let's say, whom I can say, maybe Newton, you can say, or Einstein. Einstein, yeah, Einstein is a very good example. Only immersion. Einstein, of course, did not know about self knowledge and all those things. He was only immersed in physics, right? He was blindly in love with it. And let's say, even if external dents used to come, he just ignored it. And that's why his life was a total mess. Like, of course, he gave a lot of contribution to physics and all, but his, let's say, social life and his relationship with his yeah, his wife and his children were not so good. And of course, he was not a good father and not a good, to be honest, so-called not a good family man, right? So he was just only immersed in physics by some blind love. That's again very rare, very rare. Einstein, how many people are Einstein? You only tell. Like only one, right? So that's the thing. So that's why we need both knowledge and immersion. Any single one which will not work. Why won't it work? Again, the same reason. Only immersion won't work because if external stimuli comes, you will get distracted, or in this, distracted is a very commonly used word and very misunderstood. You will get deviated from the course of your state of immersion until and unless something external vigorous is present to stop you from it. But of course. It's very less likely that something like that would be present. Of course, maybe let's see, if 10,000 people watch this video, maybe one, or let's say 1 lakh people watch this video, maybe two people, then they would be able to experience this. Otherwise, both this knowledge and immersion is needed because, as I mentioned, firstly you need to kill the restlessness by immersion, and belief is attached to the, and break the beliefs by knowing, by gaining knowledge. So, what is the actual right action? Immerse in knowledge. Immerse in knowledge. So that is the actual right action. So people say that, पढ़ के क्या फायदा? Uh, why should I study? I can just become rich, right? Again, then just understand, if you are not able to understand that these dens, then again you are not knowledgeable enough. Just understand it. Hence, your actual right action, which would actually work and would serve its purpose, is to immerse in the knowledge, right? So that was about the noise and emotion. A little bit of thing I've written here, that knowledge. What kinds of knowledge should we gain? Of course, we will discuss it in much more detail in the next video. But overall, a brief summary I had given, and of course, we will continue with it in the next. Just let me just finish off this little topic, that knowledge is, of course, I have categorized knowledge into different types. So how, what kind, what, how many kinds of, or what types of knowledges are there? World knowledge, self observation. This you can say, again, this is a, what can I say, subset, you can say, or what can I say, they two hold together, right? So world knowledge means all the physics, chemistry, maths, biology, psychology, all this. So why do you need world knowledge, right? So you need world knowledge because it prevents, number one, it prevents the formation of new dens, and number two, you understand the previous dens, like how actually they came from. So, how can you prevent formation of new dens? That okay, you know that a ball, let's say a magnet, upon attracting, there's some field forces produced, and of course, due to some attraction, and there is of course there is some intermolecular attraction. Either they are repelled or attracted towards each other. That's why North and South Pole attract each other, and South and South, basically, like poles repel and unlike poles attract, that kind of thing. So now, if you see two magnets coming together, you will feel interested. Why? Because you will feel a bit interested, because why? You now know that, yeah, that, sorry, you will feel interested. Why? Because you think that, okay, it might be, something cool, or might be, will, if I bring them together, if I repel them, then I would be satisfied again. You might not consciously recognize this, but this is the entire intention of why you are just doing, why you are just playing with the magnets, right? So I hope you understand. So, but now you know that there are field lines, and if I place this magnet in this direction, it would repel and all. Then you would be amused, but not to a very great extent. Like, let's say you are studying magnets for 10 years. Let's say your PhD, you did MSc, BSc, PhD, you are doing on magnet and electronics. Then, of course, these things, this attraction from the sense of newness from them would decrease. Why? Because you already know about them. You have studied about them, how they actually work. It does not appear to be very mystical. If you don't study about black holes and time travels and all these things, then you would think that, oh, black hole, really amazing, out of the, what can I say, very interesting. You would feel like overblown, mind blowing. You would feel mind blown, right? So again, that would be a formation of dent, that space dent. So if you know about these black holes, how do they work, the quantum physics, and of course, if you do research on them, then of course, the dents would be much lesser. The percentage of dents formed would be much lesser. And understanding previous dents. This I can give a very good example, which of course I learned from my mentor again. Excuse me. So, in previous times, there were this concept of caste, that you are lower caste, so I should not touch you, should not come into my house, and all those things. Jat, jati, and all those things. Even today, there is the thing of religion, but still, which is religion is still very very prevalent. But let's talk about caste. Caste, after all the constitution, after all the laws, it has been, the caste has been much limited. The usage of caste has now, like, rarely maybe in, some, village or some places, might be, this caste system is there, but in metropolitan cities like where I stay, there is almost negligible. I've never seen many. So people think that, okay, this blood, this type of people, or this caste of people have, uh, dirtier blood. Yeah, of course they tell like this. They tell that, okay, this person is from that caste, and he has, uh, maybe, let's say, black people have dirtier blood and all those things. They were very prevalent in the olden times. Of course, now with the advent and understanding of biology, we have found out that it's just, the blood is just the same. The color of the blood is just same. Maybe it might vary from different to different person, but that does not mean that black people would have this kind of blood. That means they have dirty blood and all those. Their touch is, unauspicious. Of course, in some places it's still there. I'm not arguing, but considering from previously it was there, now it has much been reduced. So that's why you need to understand your previous dance, like how actually did these things come to you. Uh, this caste example again. Let's say this can be in religion also. I'm not, okay, let's not go into religion, because very I need to keep it secular, right? Because this knowledge should be spread to everyone. Maybe religion we'll talk about in another day, but I hope the caste example which I took was a very good one. So uh, I hope it's clear to you. That is the world knowledge. That is why the world knowledge is required. Self knowledge, why is it required? The ability to choose, right? You need to be able to distinguish, right? That whether I'm following the action of dance, or whether I'm following the my true purpose, or I'm following towards the right action, whether I'm doing the right action or the wrong action. So again, right, wrong. Now you know that what is right, what is wrong. So uh, so the ability to choose, that, okay, you now consciously know that, okay, this action is wrong. Why? Because my purpose is just not satisfied with it. However, this action, like immersing in the knowledge, is the absolute truth and is the right action. Hence, I can consciously choose that, okay, I will do right action. I will not be affected by this dense and egos. So that is self knowledge is required to gain the ability to choose. Self observation. Self observation is that you become alert and aware. Let's say you are just, this is also very important. If you are just, let's say, let me just draw. If you, let's say, this is the ocean and you are here, let's say you are somewhere here, this your collective ego and the ball, everything. So if you now self observe yourself, now you would see that, okay, I am here, I am outside the ocean, I am not doing the right action, I am following the wrong action. Now it would be much easier for you to go into this water, and of course it would take much effort, because just see the height difference, much difference, right? So of course it would take efforts and hardships, but it would be much easier if you were, it would be much easier than if you were not aware of it, right? If you were not aware of it, then you would either, let's say, come down for a bit, or you would, let's say, you come down one time and then go up three times. If you go like this, then of course you would be very very far away, right? So self observations is also very important, that you just basically are aware of, you become aware of how actually you are working and how, what are you actually doing. Currently I am giving this speech, so currently I am doing the right action, so yeah, it's fine. And let's say if after this video I go, and eat some junk food, or do some other bullshit, which is basically do something which is fulfilling my dance or water ego, then I would again self observe myself and become alert or aware, so that I can, of course, my of course I would have to go out, and then of course I will choose again to come in, so which would be much easier. So these are the types of knowledge and why are they required. So that is for today's video. But of course, don't assume that the immersion, this part is this, the solution is finished. We need to talk, be in each and every detail. We haven't yet talked about money, society. Society we talked about little, but we need to talk about it more. Like how do we include this here, right? In knowledge and all. So right action, as you know, by the summary is immerse in knowledge and these kinds of knowledge. So, but we have still more to go. I could have explained more, but of course, then again, the time constraints and uh, I need to look for another app maybe after I finish the series, so that it's not just, it just doesn't break my flow. But anyways, so I hope today's lesson has been clear to you. So next day we would start directly from here, this wall knowledge thing, and we will further progress more into knowing what's the actual right action in a more great detail, and how to apply it in more practical, right? So I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, that's it for today. See you in the next episode. Take care, of course, and I hope all this you were feeling in the beginning of the session, I hope I have been able to remove some of them. Of course, now you are more desperate to know the full right action. I'm sorry, but hope I could feel it, if not the full heart, maybe this much. I could feel it with love. So, thank you, everyone. Bye.